Peter Loshak. We are previewing the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals right now with Ross Benjamin from rbwins.com. And Ross Benjamin, of course, gave us two correct predictions from the previous round in the conference finals in both the Eastern and the Western Conferences. Ross nailed them both. He called for wins by both Boston and Chicago. We just got finished discussing the series prices for the Stanley Cup Finals, and now we're going to talk about the Game 1 lines. Ross Benjamin, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you for having me once again, Peter.
All right, before we get to the Game 1 lines, give a plug for rbwins.com.
My URL is rbwins.com. Right now, folks, I am on a terrific roll, especially in the NHL playoffs. How about 6-1 the last 7, 12-2 the last 14, and 15-3 my last 18 NHL playoff selections? 7 other great handicappers there. One of the key things at my site is you get our guarantee that if you don't win, you don't pay. Any single game selection, any multiple game package for one day that you purchase and you don't make a profit, you don't win, you get your money back. That's rbwins.com.
All right. Well, that's a great record, Ross, and all of our regular viewers know that you nailed both of the conference finals right on the button. You said you love the Boston Bruins to advance and the Blackhawks. And we previewed the Stanley Cup final prices, and you say you like the Bruins, again, to win the Stanley Cup. Now we're looking at Game 1. It's at Chicago. The Blackhawks are minus 149. The Bruins are plus 137 on the other side. The total is 5, heavily juiced to the under. I guess I'm just going to assume that you like the Bruins in Game 1 at that underdog line?
Very good assumption, Peter. Being the fact, like I alluded to in the series segment, Boston comes in having won 5 in a row and 9 of their last 10. I'm sorry. And right now, Boston just playing terrific hockey. And how could you go against a goaltender like Tuukka Rask right now, who's just playing lights out, and they're an underdog beside. And in addition to the Bruins are 11-1 versus the money line the last 2 seasons when playing with 3 or more days rest. Another key factor here. And the numbers just don't lie in this situation. Boston is 4-3 in the playoffs so far on the road. The Blackhawks have dropped a couple games at home. They've been a strong home team all year, but as we know, you can throw all those records out the window when it comes to the playoffs. Another very good angle I have in this Game 1 of this series right now, Peter, is anytime you get a team that's coming off back-to-back home wins by 1 goal apiece, like the Bruins are, and they're playing with 3 or more days rest, 32-14 against the money line since the start of the 1996-97 season. That's good for 69.1%. Couple that with getting an underdog value here. I like the Boston Bruins in Game 1 against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Let me ask you this about home ice advantage in this playoff series, because in the last round, when we were discussing the Kings and the Blackhawks series, you gave the opinion, which I agree with you, that home ice was going to be very, very important, was going to be a big deal. What do you make of it here? Do you think that the home team should be getting a significant edge on the money lines?
No, I think that you'll see these lines be a little more around what we're seeing right now as far as the home team advantage goes. I wouldn't be shocked in this series if you saw both teams win on the opposing team's home ice. Yeah. It wouldn't shock me whatsoever. I just think that overall, Boston, their goaltending will be a big difference. I like the fact that all 4 lines have been producing for Boston. A little bit of a bad thing for Boston is the fact they lost Gregory Campbell, who was a tremendous penalty killer throughout the playoffs. And he was a key component of their 4th line that had been highly productive. But Boston has enough people in the press box, a lot of depth in the organization. I just like the Bruins here. I think that they'll get off to a good start in this series, and I think that Tuukka Rask will carry over right where he left off in the Pittsburgh series.
Okay, Ross Benjamin liking Boston in the series and in Game 1 as an underdog in both scenarios. Thanks so much, Ross Benjamin from rbwins.com.